The smell of lavender and vanilla filled the event hall. Soft pink balloons floated against the ceiling. My white maternity dress hugged my 7-month bump. I was glowing, or at least I was trying to be. My family had traveled hours to be there. My friends decorated every detail. But in the center of the room, like always, stood my husband's family. They arrived as a unit. My mother-in-law, Margaret, in her expensive wool coat and sharp smile. His sister, Victoria, with her phone already in hand before even saying hello. His father, Richard, silent as always, just watching. And Jake, my husband, standing beside them, not looking me in the eye. The baby shower was their idea. "We want to do something special for you and our grandson," Margaret had said 3 weeks earlier, holding my hands with a warmth I now understood was fake. I should have been suspicious. In 2 years of marriage, she had never held my hands. Before we continue, if you're enjoying this story, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. We have a goal of reaching 1,000 subscribers, and your subscription is essential for us to get there. Don't miss the chance to be part of this journey and help us bring more amazing content like this. Thank you. The party started normally. Silly games, polite laughter. My mom, sitting in the corner with my aunts, seemed out of place among Margaret's wealthy friends. I pretended not to notice, pretended that day was about me and my baby, not about performances and appearances. Then it was time for gifts. "We have something special for you," Margaret announced, her voice echoing through the hall. Victoria pointed her phone at me. I smiled, naive, thinking it was an emotional video or a recorded message. Margaret approached with a cream-colored envelope, heavy, elegant. My name written in gold calligraphy. "For Sophia." "From all of us," she said, and her smile was too wide, too bright, the kind of smile that doesn't reach the eyes. I opened the envelope carefully, aware of all the cameras pointed at me. 30 people watching. Inside, a single sheet of paper. Letterhead, official. "Dear Sophia, after careful consideration, we have decided it is best to establish clear boundaries before the baby arrives. Since you have always been financially dependent and have demonstrated a lack of responsibility on several occasions, we are formally communicating that we will not provide financial, emotional, or material support from this point forward. This includes daycare, clothes, medical emergencies, or any other future needs. We hope this encourages you to mature and become the mother our grandson deserves. Sincerely, the Harrington family." The silence was instant, heavy, suffocating. I felt my face burn. My hands trembled holding the paper. Victoria kept recording, her smile growing at the corners of her mouth. My mother stood up from her chair, but I raised my hand, stopping her. "Thank you," I said, my voice surprisingly calm. "I appreciate the honesty." Margaret blinked. She expected tears. She expected a breakdown. I folded the letter carefully, put it back in the envelope, and placed it in my purse. Then I stood up, my hand resting on my belly, and looked at Jake. He was pale, staring at the floor. "I'm leaving now," I said softly. "Enjoy the party." And I left. My mom and my friends followed me. Behind me, I heard growing whispers, but I didn't turn around. Victoria posted the video that night. "Baby shower surprise gone wrong," with a nervous emoji. In the comments, strangers called me a gold digger, a freeloader, weak. But none of them knew what I had done 3 weeks before. 3 weeks before the baby shower, I was sitting in Dr. Patel's office, my obstetrician, when my phone buzzed. It was a bank notification. Transfer denied. Insufficient funds. I frowned. I had just deposited my paycheck. I opened the app and froze. Our joint account was empty, completely drained. I called Jake immediately. "Where's the money?" Silence on the other end of the line. "Jake, where is the money?" "My mom needed a loan. For the beach house renovation. She'll pay it back in a few months." "You took $18,000 from our account without telling me?" It's my family, Sophia. She needed it. I'm pregnant. We have medical bills, the nursery. She'll pay it back, he repeated, irritated now. You're always paranoid about my mom. I hung up. And in that moment, sitting in the waiting room watching other pregnant women with their loving families, something inside me hardened. This wasn't the first time. In the last 2 years, Margaret borrowed $5,000 for Victoria's graduation. Never paid it back. Richard needed $3,000 for an investment. Lost it all. Jake paid for his sister's luxury car because she was going through a hard time. And me? I worked 50 hours a week as a project manager, paid half of everything, and was still called dependent at family gatherings. That afternoon, I did 4 things. First, I opened a separate bank account at another bank. I transferred my entire next paycheck. There. Set up direct deposit. Jake would never know. Second, I consulted a family law attorney. I learned that in my state, assets acquired before marriage remain separate. My grandmother's inheritance, which I had never touched, was protected in a trust fund, $127,000, untouchable by Jake or his family. Third, I documented everything. Every transfer, every message, every conversation where Margaret humiliated me or Jake prioritized his family. I saved emails, I recorded conversations, legal in my state with one-party consent. I created a digital folder called Evidence. Fourth, I prepared an exit plan. I talked to my mom. She had a spare room. I researched affordable daycares. I calculated a budget as a single mother. And I waited. I knew Margaret was planning something. The visits had increased. The passive-aggressive comments, too. Victoria suddenly wanted to get closer. When Margaret offered to throw the baby shower, I knew. It was a trap. A public humiliation to put me in my place. So I let her. I let her plan. I let her spend money on the venue, the decorations, the expensive invitations. I let Victoria imagine she was documenting my shame. Because I knew the real humiliation was still coming, and it wouldn't be mine. 2 days after the baby shower, Jake finally came home. It was 11 p.m. He walked through the front door as if nothing had happened. "We need to talk," I said, sitting on the couch, calm. "Sophia, you overreacted. It was just a letter. My mom was trying to motivate you." "Your mom humiliated me pregnant in front of 30 people and filmed it for the internet, and you stood there, silent." He sighed, rubbing his face. "You're too sensitive. It's pregnancy hormones." "I want a divorce." Silence filled the room. "What?" "I consulted a lawyer. I already filed the papers. You'll be served tomorrow." He laughed, a nervous, disbelieving sound. "You can't divorce me. You don't have money. You don't have anywhere to live. You need us." I picked up a folder from the coffee table and opened it. Inside, 3 documents. Document 1, bank statement, my separate account, $34,000 saved in 3 months. Document 2, proof of inheritance, my grandmother's trust fund, $127,000, untouchable by Jake or his family. Document 3, lease agreement, 2-bedroom apartment, 15 minutes from my mom, signed, 3 months paid in advance. Jake went pale. "Where did you get this money?" "From my job, from my inheritance, from places your family never controlled." I closed the folder. "You thought I was dependent because I let you pay some bills. I wasn't dependent, Jake. I was being generous. There's a difference." "My mom will—" "Your mom won't do anything. Because if she tries anything, I'll sue for defamation. I have the letter. I have the video. I have witnesses. And now Victoria's video has 200,000 views and the comments have turned." Victoria quickly deleted the video, but people had already reposted it. Someone created a TikTok dissecting the cruelty of the Harrington family. A local gossip page shared it with 500,000 followers. Margaret was being tagged in comments. Richard received emails at work. Victoria locked down all her social media. "You destroyed my family," he whispered. "No," I said, standing up. "Your family destroyed itself when it decided humiliation was love. I just protected myself." The next morning, I woke up to 17 missed calls. all from Jake's family. I blocked every number and made coffee, the silence in my apartment suddenly feeling like armor instead of emptiness. That's when I noticed the email. Subject line, baby shower video update. It was from my friend Rachel, who had been at the party. Sophia, you need to see this. Victoria's video is everywhere, but not the way she wanted. I clicked the link. My hands were shaking, but not from fear, from something else. Anticipation, maybe? The video had been reposted to a popular local moms group on Facebook. Someone had added context. This woman was 7 months pregnant. Her husband's family publicly humiliated her at her own baby shower and filmed her reaction for entertainment. This is cruel. This is abuse. The comments were flooding in, thousands of them. I can't believe the husband just stood there. What a coward. Imagine being this evil to a pregnant woman. That baby is better off without these people. The audacity to call her dependent when they're the ones who can't function without controlling someone. Someone posted, I know this family. They're from Highlands Ranch. The mother-in-law is Margaret Harrington. She's on the board at Cherry Hills Country Club. Then someone else replied, not anymore, she's not. I just called and filed a formal complaint. This behavior is unacceptable for a board member. My phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. Sophia, this is Patricia Chen. I'm a family law attorney and I saw what happened to you. If you need legal representation, I'd like to offer my services pro bono. What they did may constitute intentional infliction of emotional distress. Call me. I saved the number. I didn't need to sue them, but knowing I could, that felt like power. Another notification. Victoria's Instagram account, which had been public, was now private, but screenshots were already circulating. People had found her workplace, a luxury real estate agency, and were leaving reviews. We will not work with someone who films and mocks pregnant women for entertainment. Disgusting behavior. By noon, Victoria had been put on administrative leave. I should have felt guilty. I should have felt like I'd gone too far. But when I looked down at my belly, felt my son kick against my hand, I felt nothing but calm certainty. I didn't do this to them. They did it to themselves. That afternoon, Jake showed up at my new apartment. I don't know how he found the address. Probably his mother did some digging. He knocked softly at first, then harder. Sophia, please, we need to talk. I opened the door but kept the chain lock engaged. You have nothing I want to hear. His eyes were red. He hadn't slept. My mom is getting death threats. Victoria lost her job. My dad's company is investigating him because someone said we're a liability. This is insane. No, I said quietly. What's insane is humiliating your pregnant wife in public and expecting no consequences. We didn't think it would. You didn't think. Period. I started to close the door. I'm still the father of that baby. You can't keep me from my son. You're right. I can't. But a judge can decide when, where, and how you see him. My lawyer will be in touch about supervised visitation. Supervised? Sophia, come on. You stood there while my mother called me financially irresponsible, while she humiliated me, while your sister recorded it like I was a joke. My voice finally cracked. Not from sadness, from anger I'd held back too long. You didn't defend me. You didn't stop them. You chose them over your own family, over your son. I was in shock. You were a coward. I closed the door. Through the wood, I heard him slide down to sit in the hallway, heard him crying. A part of me, the part that had loved him once, wanted to open the door, wanted to believe he could change. But I put my hand on my belly and walked away. That night, I sat at my small kitchen table and opened my laptop. The video had reached 500,000 views. News outlets were picking it up. Local mom blogger writes, "This baby shower disaster shows why we need to talk about maternal abuse." A woman commented, "My mother-in-law did something similar when I was pregnant, told me I wasn't good enough for her son in front of everyone at my gender reveal. I stayed silent. I wish I had your courage." Another wrote, "You didn't just stand up for yourself. You stood up for every daughter-in-law who's been made to feel small. Thank you." I started typing a response, then stopped.
I didn't owe the internet my story. I didn't owe them explanations or updates. But then I thought about that woman, the one who stayed silent, the one who wished she had been brave. So I created a burner account and wrote, "To everyone who's been in this position, you're not crazy. You're not overreacting. And you don't owe loyalty to people who humiliate you. Protect your peace. Protect your baby. You deserve better." I posted it and closed the laptop. My phone buzzed one more time. Margaret's number. I'd forgotten to block it. The text read, "You've destroyed this family. I hope you're proud of yourself." I typed back, "I didn't destroy anything. I just stopped pretending you were building something worth saving." Then I blocked her, and for the first time in 2 years, I slept through the night.
1 week later, I was in my new apartment. Small, but mine. Empty walls waiting for pictures, crib still in the box. Silence. My phone rang. Unknown number. I answered. "Sophia." It was Margaret. Her voice was shaking. "We need to talk. In person. We have nothing to talk about. Please." A long pause. I was wrong. I met her at a coffee shop. Neutral territory. She was without makeup, hair pulled back, hands trembling around her teacup. "Victoria is having panic attacks," she began. "People recognize her on the street, call her cruel. She lost her job." I said nothing. "Richard is being investigated at work. Someone sent anonymous emails about inappropriate family behavior. Jake is living with us again because he can't afford rent alone." "And you want me to do what?" My voice was soft, not cruel, just tired. "Make it stop. The comments, the messages. Say it was a misunderstanding." "It wasn't a misunderstanding, Margaret. You wrote every word of that letter. Victoria filmed knowing exactly what she was doing. Jake stayed silent. I just wanted you to know your place." She stopped, realizing too late. "And now you know yours," I said, standing up. "Away from me and my son." I left $5 for my tea on the table and walked out. 3 months later, my son was born. Gabriel. 7 pounds, 6 ounces. Dark eyes. Perfect. My mom was in the delivery room. My friends sent flowers. My boss gave me 3 months paid leave. Jake sent a text, "Can I see my son?" I responded through my lawyer. Supervised visits. Child support established by court order. No involvement from the Harrington family. Victoria deleted all social media. Margaret stopped going to social gatherings. Richard retired early. And me? I framed that letter. Put it on the wall in my home office, next to where Gabriel's diploma will hang one day. As a reminder, not of pain, of power. That silence isn't weakness, it's strategy. That when someone hands you a weapon, you can choose not to use it right away. You can wait. You can aim better. 6 months later, Gabriel sleeps in his crib beside me. Moonlight streams through the window. I rock slowly, humming softly. My phone vibrates. A message from a follower. "Your story gave me courage to leave my abusive marriage. Thank you for showing we can protect ourselves. Where are you from? I want to know how many of us finally changed the locks." I smile. I respond. And I look at my son. For years, I thought family meant enduring, forgiving, sacrificing. Now I know family is who protects you, not who uses you as a shield. And for the first time, the silence in my apartment isn't loneliness. It's peace. If you've ever had to choose your child over pleasing your partner's family, you're not alone. Tell me where you're watching from so I know how many of us finally put our babies first.